Hello, welcome back to the vlog. If you're new here, I'm Ashley and I make travel and lifestyle videos. And today we are in San Francisco and we'll be exploring for the weekend. So come along with us. We drove from Monterey to San Francisco. So there was a good amount of traffic and we got there in the evening. The sunset was absolutely gorgeous over the water. We just went to our hotel to check in and like unpack and try and relax in the evening. That did not go well, as you'll hear later, but it was a beautiful drive into the city to spend the weekend.
The next morning,
we woke up and headed out to the Pier 39. It was an absolutely gorgeous day. Like, I have heard about this June gloom phenomenon that's supposed to happen in San Francisco, and we are right on the water, and the fog never rolled in this entire video. It was sunny and beautiful the whole time, which I was a little bit disappointed in because, you know, when you escape Sacramento to the bay, you expect it to be cold and foggy. Our first stop was some coffee at the Biscoff Coffee Corner, and they gave us some treats to go with our coffee, and everything was so delicious. Then, of course, when you are at Pier 39, you have to go see the sea lions. They are so much fun. They have a ton of personality. We saw a lot more of them here when we were here in May. You can check out that video if you want to, but this is June. This is just 1 month later, and there was significantly less sea lions. I don't know if it was the time of day or the weather. Maybe it was too warm and they didn't want to be like sunbathing as much or whatever. I don't know, but there was still some out there, and it was definitely worth going to see them. We enjoyed our coffee while hanging out with them and watching them swim around. And I just wanted to point out, we walked here from our hotel. We decided to stay by the Pier 39 Fisherman's Wharf area because there was a few things we wanted to do in this area. The hotel we were at has an underground parking lot, so we actually left our car in there. We had to pay for the parking, and we left our car in there and then just took transportation around the city. We walked here and we'll walk to some other places too, but then if we wanted to go further away, we would walk just because we didn't know the parking situation. And I know a lot of parking is paid. And there's also these street performers on the weekends as well, so you can look out for them. After our coffee and our walk around the pier, we headed back to the hotel as they had a breakfast buffet that we were given vouchers for. And it was all right. They had some hot things and some pastries, some cold items, as well as they had breads and stuff, but you just had to ask the waitress to toast it up for you, which was interesting, but also fine because then you didn't have to like sit and wait for it. And they also offered coffee and tea and juices at the buffet. Hello, welcome to the tour of the Hotel Zoe. We are finally in the correct room, and here we go. This is the closet in the hallway. It has extra pillows, a steamer, which I think is a really nice touch for your clothes. And then I believe this is an accessible room, so the hangers are down low. There is a bench right here that has our luggage on it. TV. This is where the fridge is, which I think is cute because it's nice and camouflaged. And then we have a mini bar, which cost extra. Don't touch that unless you want to pay extra. We have a little view of the street, but if you look beyond that, you can see a Ferris wheel. There's no like ocean view or anything from here because we're too far away. And then this is a pull-out couch over here. And then there's some end tables. And then we'll cut and I'll show you the bedroom. And here is the bedroom. There's a sliding door. Outfit of the day mirror right next to the entrance. We have a bed, supposed to be king size, I think it is. TV, some drawers, little table with the coffee set up in the bedroom, don't ask me. Chair, end tables on both sides, tiered. That crab is extra, so only take him if you want to pay $14. Here is the bathroom. Again, we're in an accessibility suite. We did not book that, but that's okay. Sink. They have Beekman full-sized washes, hand wash, lotion, the shampoo, conditioner, body wash. There's also behind here, this little box has little like amenity things in it. And then we have, obviously, the toilet, a bathtub, and then this is full of accessibility, you know, shower head, bars, and stuff. And then a hairdryer. Okay, now for a story time of what happened last night. We got in really late. We left Monterey probably around 3:30, hit a ton of traffic, stopped for dinner. We probably came in here around 8:30 and we were exhausted. They gave us the key to a room. We go up to the room. It's not the correct room. I booked a 1-bedroom with a suite, paid the rate for a 1-bedroom with a suite, which is more than a regular room with a sofa. I went back down to the desk and I said, you know, this is not the room I paid for. And she was like, oh no, that is a suite. And I was like, okay, but I paid for like a room with a separate sleeping area for my child to sleep in. And they're like, oh, well, if you look at the 360, there's not a doorway. And I was like, okay, but there is a room with a doorway. I saw it. That's the one I booked. But on my email confirmation, it said Superior King, and that is not a listing on their website. So their booking interface does not match up with the room names on their website. So the person working, the front desk agent, was not able to really help me at all. She tried calling a manager. The manager would not pick up. They texted her back and said, like, there's basically nothing we can do. Now, mind you, I called when I saw that it said Superior King on my reservation email. I didn't know what that was, so I called their number listed on their website for the Hotel Zoe, and they told me that I had booked the correct room, that I had booked the 1-bedroom suite, which is different than a junior king suite is what they call the other room. And they assured me that it was the correct room, because remember, I paid almost $400 a night and the other room was less. So last night we had to sleep in that room, which was atrocious. We had to like take turns sleeping because my kid can't sleep when we're sleeping because we snore. And so it was awful. And all they could offer us was some free breakfast. But this morning when the manager came in, she fixed it. So we packed up our things and then they moved our baggage for us while we had breakfast. They did give us complimentary breakfast passes for their buffet. But yeah, long story short, if you are going to book at the Hotel Zoe, I would highly recommend you book directly with their front desk. Call, I don't know how to get the front desk number. Just make sure you're not talking to the reservation line. Talk to the front desk here in San Francisco and be sure that you're booking the room that you are paying for, the type of room, because we got a way lesser room for a huge amount of money. Like, it's almost $100 difference, the room we got last night to this room, and I paid the rate for this room. So I'm not thrilled about that, but it is fixed, and we're going to try and have a good weekend. All right. I'll see y'all later. Since we didn't get good sleep the night before, we opted to take a nap once we got into the correct room. And then for lunch, we walked over to the old Fisherman's Wharf area. This is a Saturday in San Francisco, so it was packed. There was everyone there, and it was also during like a graduation season, so we saw like parties booking boat tours and stuff, which I thought was really cute. But yeah, it was very full of people, and we went to this restaurant for lunch that was recommended to me, and it was on the water, which we appreciate. There was a bit of a wait to get into the restaurant, but a couple things I liked about this spot was there was a seating area outside, a waiting area in their parking lot with chairs, and then you could order drinks from the bar and take it out to the waiting area. And once you got to your table, if you had ordered a soda in the waiting area, they still gave you refills of the soda, which normally when you order sodas from the bar, you don't get that. I got a clam chowder, and so did my kiddo. And then my husband got this, I think, chicken sandwich, and then my kid and I split some pasta. Everything was very good. It was a very good lunch. We tried walking around after lunch, but it was super packed. But one of the things we wanted to do while we were in San Francisco is go to Japantown. So San Francisco is one of only 3 existing Japantowns in the United States still. So we definitely wanted to go check it out. We had previously been to the one in Los Angeles. If you haven't seen that video, you could check it out. But after this one, all we have to see is San Jose next, and we'll have seen them all. This center was full of people, and they had all sorts of really neat little stores and food options. I exhibited so much willpower, and I don't think I bought myself anything, even though everything is so cute and it was speaking to me. I managed to not buy stuff. I did get some gifts for the kiddos. I also did go to this little bakery, and we got some bubble tea as well while we were here, because just it's a fun little treat. I will list all the locations of the places that we went to down below, so you can know what we got, or like where we got these things. It's actually listed in every single video, so if you're ever looking to see where we went, it is listed in the description box. But I got this curry beef bun, and we got a strawberry bun, and we got some tea, and because we bought the buns, we were able to sit in the bakery cafe area, which was nice for a little break, and it was like away from as many people, so that was nice. Like I said, this was a Saturday, so they were having multiple pop-up events in the area with small vendors, which was also neat to see. There was so many great stores, and we did buy stuff. I just didn't get anything for myself. And then we had to check out this ramen shop, which was supposedly one of the best in San Francisco. And there was, I think, an hour wait. So if you're shopping around and you're going to be hungry, I would put your name in early and then just continue to shop and wait for your reservation or your wait list time, because I think they send you a little text message and you have a few minutes to get back. The food was great. The service here was great. And I definitely go back, but not with the hour wait.
The next morning.
All right. The next morning, we went back to the breakfast buffet because we did have vouchers again. I'm going to show you the pricing. I don't think it's worth the pricing unless you have those vouchers. But again, this is San Francisco and everything is expensive. So you should expect to pay that. And this is what I got from the buffet. So we checked out of our hotel room because I believe checkout was like 11 or 12. So we checked out, but we were able to leave our car in the parking garage because you do pay by the night for the parking garage, but we didn't have to take our car out. They were not like overly crowded. During this trip, we did take Lyfts or Waymos, depending on what cost less. And it really varied. Sometimes the Waymo would be a lot more than a Lyft. Sometimes it would be the same or less. So if you have multiple apps, I would just check your apps to see what is the best rate for what you're doing. The one thing I like about the Waymos is they are very cautious of the laws. Lyft drivers are not as conscientious of the laws and being cautious. They want to get you there so they could pick up their next fare, which I understand because that's how they make their living. But there was definitely times when people were like swerving around or going up a turn lane when they didn't have any intention of turning and stuff like that. So I did actually prefer the Waymo, which is shocking because before I had taken a Waymo, I thought for sure I would not enjoy it. But it was nice. We got to control the temperature. We got to control the music. We did like a lo-fi music so we could just kind of like chill. And it was nice. It was also nice to film from the Waymo because it was just like, you know, there's no person there. So we were just, you know, us, and I could film and you could see, like the path, the route in which you were taking. And it was a good experience, and it was nice to see all the architecture and enjoy that. So our first stop of the day, we went into Union Square, which is where the bigger brand name shopping is, because we had a very specific store we wanted to visit that is recently opened in San Francisco, and we don't have one of those stores where we are. And I'm gonna ask you to guess the store right now, and you'll see if you're right. So we went and looked at this park for a little bit, and then we had to get in a massive line. It was all the way down the block and around the corner halfway. It was wild. We were going to the Nintendo store, and we kept seeing these trolleys drive by, and we kept filming them because they were an attraction for us, but they kept filming us because they're like, look at this line. It was quite hilarious, in my opinion. Also, we managed to get a lot of sun waiting in this line. So if you're going to do this, please wear your sun protection or bring a parasol or something, because we were not expecting the amount of sun, and we were not expecting to wait in line for as long. And we did get a little pink. So please take care of yourselves in that way. But the line moved not quickly, but it wasn't horrible. We did just kind of like hang out and people watch. Also, the line went across the Victoria's Secret, and I couldn't believe how many non-Americans kept coming up and asking like how to get in the Victoria's Secret and if this was a line for Victoria's Secret. I didn't know that it was such a big deal to other folks. But here we are at the front of the line. Yay!
My TikTok.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I like your suit with your Bowser.
He's very proud of those pins.
And as you saw, they had a very fancy security guard at the front of the Nintendo store. If you guessed the Nintendo store, you are correct. And you should, you know what? Give yourself a little treat. Yeah, from me, because I said so. Anyway, it's really, really nice in here. It's 2 stories. This is the top level, and then you can go downstairs for more Nintendo store experience. I absolutely loved it. I've been playing Animal Crossing. I don't know if I have pointed that out in videos, because a lot of times on car rides I'm playing Animal Crossing in the car, so I don't know if you've seen it, but I picked up quite a few Animal Crossing goodies, and my husband picked up some Zelda and Link things, also some Metroid, and our kiddo picked out, I think, some Pokemon stuff. So there's a little something for everyone in here if you are a Nintendo family. Of course, there's also Mario. I feel like we neglected him and all his friends a little bit, but it was definitely fun. Once you got inside, there was no time limit. You could hang out, shop as much as you want. There was an area where you could play games, but we didn't want to wait in line for that. I don't know if I got it recorded though, but yeah, there's lots of merch from all the different game franchises, and unfortunately what they had was out though, but I did find the sizing of the clothing to be very generous. So if you are plus size, you could probably shop here. So after we spent the morning at the Nintendo store, it's literally the only store we went to in this area. We walked around this park and we hung out for a little bit. We headed over to a different area of San Francisco and got some lunch. We went to a Brazilian spot, which was nice, and we got some of the pastries, including empanadas, and we got acai bowls, which were so refreshing because, you know, I had told you we just stood outside in the sun for a long time. So smoothies and acai bowls sounded so refreshing to us. Then I headed down the street to hang out at a coffee shop, and my husband took our kiddo to a cat cafe. This is paid by the person, and I think I might have a cat allergy, so I didn't want to go in, pay by the person, and end up like itchy and sneezy the whole time. Though I do love cats, they are so cute. So at this cafe, they no longer serve like, you know, tea and coffee or whatever. Like, I believe upon leaving, you get like a bottled drink included with your fee, but I believe it was 45 minutes of hanging out with these cats, and then you get your beverage at the end. And they had lots of cute little friends to hang out with, as you can see, and there was toys so you could play with the cats, and there's lots of different varieties of cats. I saw this cafe from one of my friends on Instagram. She went, so when my kid was like, oh, do they have like a cat cafe? I'm like, yeah, I know exactly where one is. So this was fun. And if you too are lucky, cats might climb on you and use you in cat yoga type demonstrations. So that was a super fun stop. They enjoyed that a lot. After the cat cafe, we headed back to the hotel to pick up our car because there was a store and a little vendor fair thing happening just outside of the city that we wanted to check out. So that was the end of our time in San Francisco. It was a lot of fun despite the hiccups we experienced at the hotels. It was definitely a very different experience from being in Sacramento, with the hills and all the beautiful buildings and the Waymos and the arts and all the different areas. We did not explore, we like barely scratched the surface of San Francisco. So if you have favorite places to go in San Francisco, please leave them down below in the comment section so we can go there next time we head into the city, because I think that would be amazing. And here we are going over the Alameda Bridge, I think. It's another thing that we don't really have. We have bridges in Sacramento. Don't misquote me. We have bridges, but we don't have like long, expensive bridges over water. We went to this place called Modern Mouse where they were having a pop-up shop with a lot of vendors that was outside. I forgot to film it, and this is their store where they have a collective of local makers and artists. It was a really cute shop and it had a lot of really fun things inside. The service was also fantastic. I did finally volunteer and get myself like a few stickers and knickknacks because everything was so cute and I absolutely adore supporting local businesses and local artists. So I also have a sticker problem. I don't know if you know that about me, but I love stickers. I have such a hard time, but I don't want to stick them down to anything because then that's like a permanence that I don't want to commit to. So they just sit in piles, but I kind of want to get a board and display them on a board, which is the opposite of what you're supposed to do with stickers. We also grabbed boba tea for the ride home, and it was a great trip. So thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe. Social medias will be posted below. Bye!